Do you think the battle for your attention started with TikTok? It didn't. It started long before social media, long before television, long before radio. It started the moment somebody realized that information could be sold. And once that happened, everything changed. Picture yourself in New York City in the 1830s. The city is growing. Printing is becoming cheaper. More people can read. Newspapers are everywhere. And for many years, newspapers had existed primarily as political tools. They supported parties, candidates, causes. Their goal wasn't always profit. But then publishers discovered something. The larger the audience, the more money they could make. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Today we talk about views, clicks, engagement, subscribers, watch time. Back then it was circulation. Different technology, same business. So when publishers realized that larger audiences meant larger profits, that's when a transformation took place. Stories became more dramatic. Headlines became more attention-grabbing. Publishers competed more for readers. For the first time, information wasn't just something that informed people. It became something that attracted people. Something that could be monetized. But it wasn't just about money. Something even bigger was happening. By deciding which stories to print and which stories to ignore, newspapers began shaping how people understood the world. Think about what the political thinker Walter Lippmann would later say. Most of us never experience most of the world directly. Instead, we see the world through stories, through descriptions, images, narratives provided by others. In other words, we don't see the world exactly as it is. We see a version of it. And the media plays a powerful role in creating that version. Another thinker who thought about this stuff, Benedict Anderson, noticed something equally remarkable. As newspapers began to spread across the country, millions of people began reading the same stories at the same time. People who would never meet each other. People living hundreds of miles apart. And yet they began to feel connected. Like they were part of one large invisible tribe. A nation. So the media wasn't just reporting reality. It was helping to create a shared reality. And years later, the media critic Neil Postman would issue a warning. When information becomes entertainment, the way we talk to each other will begin to change. The way we think will begin to change. The things we pay attention to will begin to change. And maybe that's where this story becomes less about newspapers and more about us. Because the technology has changed many times. Newspapers became radio, radio became television, television became the internet, internet became social media became algorithms. But the business stayed the same. The business is attention. Every notification, every headline, every recommendation, every scroll, someone, somewhere is competing for a few seconds of your focus. And that competition didn't begin with TikTok. It didn't begin with Facebook. It didn't even begin with television. It began when somebody discovered that attention itself had value. And once you realize that, you start seeing the modern world very differently. This is Rosenberg.